Gibby, are you excited about the big news in football? Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift engaged.
I mean, Brinkman won't be able to sleep just waiting for his invitation.
Live from the Justin Livestream Network studios, Scrib and Gib.
I mean, we've been in the room here for 10, 20 minutes. It's all he's talked about is the Swifties.
He is a Swiftie.
You know what?
That Tiger shirt, he's got a Swiftie shirt on.
I think he got up off the couch. He went in, looked in at the mirror in his room, in his bathroom, and he's like, it's over. My chance with Taylor Swift is gone.
I think you're right.
It's okay.
Wow. Yeah,
We've done the impossible.
Gib asked me today when I got here. He says, so what'd you do today? And I said, well, this morning I woke up and I turned on ESPN and it said that Mike Holmgren had died. Well, 5 minutes later, we found out that was a hoax. And then at noon, I turned on the NFL Network thinking, well, there's got to be some like special cut day special on the NFL Network, right? No. It is New England at the New York Giants preseason football game from the other night, and they cut into it to tell everybody that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were engaged. And they had a whole montage. So then I log onto my computer because I want to see, what's going on in the cuts, right? Because the Vikings need a receiver. So I go on that.
Wow.
The top of ESPN. Breaking news, Travis Kelce engaged. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's two things I think about there. One, I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest.
Well, they're smart, though, the NFL is.
I get it.
The Chiefs' value just went up.
Oh,
$100 million.
Yep. And then the second thing about today that we got to get this camera working on the Moose. The Moose is in here.
Whoops, it's not working.
With
everybody.
a wife beater on.
Wife beater. It's not a wife beater. Wow. I do not own a wife beater. Anybody? I don't. I may have some shirts without sleeves that get cut off, but a wife beater? Thank you.
Well,
you are unfortunate you said that.
Oh, my gosh. Do you need a huggy?
People from Turtle Lake wear wife beaters. Not North Dakota.
Hey, to church.
To church.
Hey, when they go.
Oh, my words. Well, you look good today, Moose. You do.
Hey,
and we just, unfortunately, you're not on camera, and we'll get that.
Oh, shoot. Maybe I'll figure it out by the end of the show. We'll see.
Hey, Moose.
Yo.
Just because you're not on camera, we can still have the Moose and Brink agricultural 2 minutes.
Yes, we can.
And what we're going to do is we're going to wait about 47 seconds until Scrib's talking too long, and then we'll just get into the agriculture talk.
You ask a question, and I'll jump right in.
Again, I'm talking too much. I've only said like 3 things, and he's filled up the rest of the 20 minutes already. We've been on for 3 minutes, and I got about 15 seconds, and you got 20.
Yeah. All right.
What are we going to start with, guys? What do you got, Scrib?
Well, I'm going to start with, the place that we like to start. It's life, family, and sports, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, we're going to talk right off the gate. I mean, it's the biggest thing in Northwest Wisconsin and the eastern side of the Twin Cities. It's a state fair. Do you guys take your families to the state fair?
No, we don't.
Not a huge fan. I like to go like once every 3-4 years, but I'll tell you what, 3 years ago, I worked the state fair for a friend of mine's company. He said, hey, can you just work during the week so that we can keep our employees at the dealership, and you just go down there and kind of head that up for us? And the people watching is amazing, but I had enough people watching that year. That was 2022. I haven't been back since.
Well, I think you almost got fired because when your boss went there, you weren't there. You were at the Prono Pump station the whole time. So,
or what's the cookies one?
Martha's
Sweet
Cookies.
Martha's, yeah.
Hey, by the way, I got the lowdown on that a little bit because we have 2 booths there at Lindis Construction. And so we were just talking about what we pay for the booths and the leads that it brings in and generates. And they said that, I believe, again, don't shoot the messenger here, but they said how they run the Sweet Martha's cookies and all the food vendors is the state gets, or the state fair gets 15% of the revenue. Yeah. So, and now they used to also run what they could charge, and now they took that off too. So they can charge whatever they want to charge. It's not regulated by the state fair any longer. But anyways, they said Sweet Martha's Cookies, $5 million. They figured
The
it was
number one, I think, in 2023. I mean, you're probably right now because in like 2023 it was $3.6 million, of which at that time the fair got 20%, and then they brought it down since then. But yeah, it's crazy. So
Yeah,
first
I had a
off,
friend who had shaved ice right when you come in.
yeah,
Worked with Lindsay.
Do you guys think the cookies are that good? I don't go to the fair. I've actually
when they're
never
hot,
been there.
When
Yeah.
they're hot, I don't like them once you take them home and even.
Thank
try
you.
to
That's
eat
when
'em.
I've had them.
When you're there.
It is one of those things, though. It's like it just tastes better because you're at the fair. I think it's a little bit in your mind. It's
Yeah, it's exactly.
So, Gib, you're going to kick out of this. Like 15 years ago when I was still in high school, the Richmond FFA went to the Minnesota State Fair for a day, and Elias and Carver and Gurkink and all of us, we went down and we each got a bucket of Sweet Martha's cookies. And then we went up to the Minnesota Dairy Farmers booth where you could have all the milk you could drink for $1. And we sat there for an hour and a half because nobody wanted to say that they couldn't eat them all. And everybody wanted to say they drank the most milk. I've never been so sick in my life.
I was just going to say that
Yeah.
sounds miserable, but good.
I got no comment.
Yeah. All right. Well, I was jokingly wanted to just bring that up, just, do a little life, family stuff. But, wow, you took it as normal. Brinkman, you ran with it. So, again.
I'm a serious person.
Yeah, we know you are. Well, let's get into what happened last week, and that is just even going to happen this week. It's all about Tiger sports, right? We kicked it off last week with a little bit of tennis, football, and golf went last week. This week we got volleyball going tonight. They had a scrimmage on Saturday. I know we'll touch on that. Tennis is back in action down in Eau Claire today. And then I do believe we'll have soccer when is the first boys soccer?
Friday night, the Tigers host Superior.
So
and Saturday. Right?
Yep. So Tiger sports are really kicking it off. So I think we're going to just you're excited for that soccer on Saturday
at 3:00. Or 1 o'clock?
So
1 to 3.
Is the announcer of the Tiger Soccer? This is news to me.
I was looking at activity scheduler, and that's on there.
You may have to get a cardboard cutout.
Because
Why would you schedule that?
That's the only reason it sticks in my mind because it's August 30th.
No, that's at
isn't that at Richmond High School? Isn't it?
Saturday, August 30th, 10 a.m. There is a boys soccer quad, and that is at Eau Claire North.
Oh, did
High
I read
School.
that wrong?
Whew. Thank God you did.
One.
I dodged one.
Not too many times you can dodge something, but you did that time.
Ouch.
All right, well, let's just start off with football. We did the big Western Wisconsin football preview last week, so let's touch up on some different conferences to start with, and then we're going to round it off with the Richmond Tigers, who went in, who had a great game against Marshfield Tigers and started off 1-0. So a couple of the games that I was going to kind of hit on was just in the Dunn St. Croix. What do you got there, big guy? I know you did a little preview there. What do you got?
Scores from last week?
No, just a couple things you saw.
Glenwood City, I thought, had a really nice win. I was really surprised to see Elmwood Plum City take it on the chin. Boyceville, very impressive. Spring Valley really got manhandled in their game. And that's about all I have from last week for them.
Well, I think those some of those smaller conferences, specifically Dunn St. Croix, right? You called out a couple teams. I know you talked about Boyceville. You expect them to have a really good year, and a few other ones. I think the key there is it's always the first game who they're playing, right? Like you had talked about Turtle Lake playing Regis. They obviously lost 35. I think it was to 14, or 7, whatever it was.
14.
And that's just what happens, right? Some of these teams start off the first game of the year, it's growing pains, but then you also go against something like Regis, which is basically just powerhouse in that division. So it's just kind of unfortunate, but it's also fun to see these teams start week 2. Week 3 is always exciting. Doesn't matter what conference, just like in the Big Rivers. It's always fun to see week 1, the growth to week 2. So it'll be fun as we kind of talk about the Dunn St. Croix in the middle border throughout the year. Who starts to shine at the top, right? In the middle border, I was talking to, so I did not know this, and Janke left Ellsworth to go play for Baldwin.
Yep.
And freshman had quite a game.
Yeah, I talked to one of my sales reps. He lives in Baldwin, head hockey coach, and he said, Baldwin, they beat them 50-6. I want to say that Jenke's first touch might have gone, or a touch went for like 50 yards or something like that. But Lucas said I wouldn't get too excited. Tomo's really bad.
Yeah.
So, but he's a freshman, right? And playing at a varsity level, hey, you got to take your hat off.
Yeah, he's, I think, like 5'10", 160-some pounds, fast, strong, had a good game on defense, had 5 or 6 catches, I think, too, I heard.
Okay.
So, pretty good stat line for a freshman, like you said, going from Ellsworth up to Baldwin. So that I think that was notable for sure. I thought that was pretty impressive to hear. And then I did see, a couple that we called out that you highlighted too. I did see Amory did lose to Grantsburg. Sounded like that was a pretty rough game. I did talk to some of my wife's family, and it sounded like Amory's going to be down.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And even with a great athlete at their quarterback, it's going to be tough. I thought one of the big surprises, I'm not surprised they won, but Somerset really took it to Bloomer 41-6. So, and that was without their defensive stud Pinska, who's out with a foot right now. So, for them to win 41-6 and not have him on the football field, that's a big win for them as well.
Yeah.
A couple things I thought were interesting in the Middle Border Conference. Osceola, 36-13 over Merrill. I thought that sounds like an impressive one there.
I think they were pissed because we forgot them on the Midwest football thing.
I probably didn't. I'm the one to be like, I don't remember him talking about the Chieftains up there.
Yeah.
But one team that I think warrants mention, St. Croix Central went down to Mauston. And, that's a 3.5-hour bus ride.
Yeah.
But, they went down there and they manhandled them. What was it, like 30-something to 6, I believe. I can't even see it here. 36-6. So,
yeah.
So that was impressive, I thought. On the other side, I thought Prescott really. I was surprised to see that Prescott lost the way they did. So, I don't know.
I think it's, again, though, I think when you just think, and we've seen it before, and we'll get to the Big Rivers with, in Richmond last year going down to Marshfield and barely winning 7-6. Mm-hmm. That's what happens, right? And I think that's the importance of week one. Like, I think we've realized, like, sometimes, hey, you just got to take it a little bit and with a grain of it's week one.
Yep.
And what do the coaches do after that? Watch film, right? Like you talked about it last year too, Gibby, on our way back. Like, film is critical, right? It's always fun going against your friends, teammates, scrimmages, etc. But when you get it against somebody a different color across from you, and then you actually get to go back and watch tape on it, it's actually pretty, that's impressive. And you get to make changes, right? And you can see, hey, you did this wrong, you didn't run the right route. If you would have done X, Y, Z, so that's what will be exciting.
Yeah, Prescott lost that contest 40-7 to Northwestern. So yeah, you were right. They definitely took it on the chin. And
Northwestern now comes down to play Somerset on Friday night. Interesting thing about Northwestern, from about 2005 to I'm going to say 2000, until they went to 5 divisions in basketball, New Richmond and Northwestern were in the same division in basketball, and there was probably 3-4 years there when Northwestern had the Tecker kid that ended up going to South Dakota State, and then they had a guy that pitched. Actually, Danny, Scribb, you know his name too. He ended up pitching for 4 years at Notre Dame. But anyways, they knocked New Richmond out of the state tournament, of the basketball playoffs. So that was a school that was New Richmond sized. Probably 2007 to 2012-13. They're now down to 372 students. So that's
incredible.
Interesting to me. Yeah,
and I was talking to some people today about that. Somebody at work, just about the size of the smaller schools and what that means for just competition. I think, some of it is like an Amory, like we talked a little bit about Turtle Lake not co-oping and just what it does. Some of it is just it's unfortunate. Like, kids move out, they just see different things. So it's different, and I think that's the unfortunate part of high school sports. Youth sports is just what happens. All right, let's jump into the Big Rivers. Big Rivers was, we knew it was going to be fun this year. Week one, you saw some things, right? You had Eau Claire Memorial, Hudson going at it. That was a tight game for a while. I did talk to some Hudson folks, and they said, yeah, they had a lot of turnovers to start. And then Memorial sent a lot of kids, both ways. And obviously, at the end of the day, Hudson walked away with a 37-21 victory. Hudson did have some turnovers through the air and on the ground. That was a big impact to why the score was in Memorial's favor to begin with. But again, think about that, right? You're down in Eau Claire Memorial on a new field. We go down to Eau Claire North this week on a new field, something different than Carson Park. But it'll be interesting to see, again, now week 2 for Hudson. But at the end of the day, they did beat Eau Claire Memorial, and I think that's a team that I expected them to win. I think we talked about that. But it'll be interesting to see where Eau Claire Memorial ends up at the end of the year. And remember, they're in the Wisconsin Valley this year, right?
Yep.
So we won't get to see them. One that I think is a little bit interesting to us is Menominee and Eau Claire North, right? That was one that we were watching throughout the night, and at the end of the day, it was a 54-32 victory for the Menominee Mustangs. I did talk to a few people. They thought, oh, yeah, Eau Claire's better. They got the big tackle going to Indiana. They got Shipman that's playing the quarterback. If I kind of forgot about that. I thought he graduated. That's one that Bennett kind of clocked on the sidelines last year. He is moved from receiver now to a quarterback, and he's fast. I mean, he's a good athlete. But talking to some Menominee folks are like, there's not much defense there. So, I mean, a little bit. I mean, I think Menominee's down on this year. So, for me, I'm looking at Richmond going down there, doing what they can do running. They'll be just fine.
Yep.
I mean, at the end of the day, we did put up a lot of yards. So, if Menominee can do that, I'm not too concerned. Another one that was kind of interesting was Rice Lake DC Everest. It was a slugfest. Rice Lake was up early, 14-3. They ended up going on a 80-yard drive with a couple minutes left to go and only left 17 seconds on the clock as they punched it in. And Rice Lake right there, won state 2 years ago, second place last year, and they're right back at it, knocking off DC Everest. I think one that also caught our attention was Chippewa Falls just getting smoked there by Stevens Point. We expect them to be maybe a little better with the size. Again, week 1. Yep. We don't want to get too worked up here, but I know they got some speed, but I think at the end of the day, they're going to have to figure out defense there clearly.
It sounded to me like they struggled on pass defense.
Yeah.
From what I've read. So.
Yeah, that's what you had heard too. So
Yep.
I think one that didn't surprise me, but kind of did is Wisconsin Rapids. We know they came up here last year. They're pretty weak. I mean, it looked like it, but man, River Falls jumped on them 45-zip. At home. So, again, River Falls might be rebounding. Wausau West Superior, we talked about it. Thought, hey, would Superior be able to do something there? 42-21. Now, what I'm curious, I did not look at the box score, guys. I'm curious, was it 42-zip and then Superior keep their starters in?
Right.
Kind of like last year.
Good
I don't
point.
know. But so, again, week 2 will be better for the Big Rivers. But, hey, you're in the Richmond Tigers. Invited Marshfield Tigers back for the third time in 365 days. Tigers walk away with a 49-25 victory. And what do you got? I think you got a Vital System stat.
We do. 413. That's the stat. Guess what that is, Griff?
That's how many yards the Tigers gained on the ground.
That's incredible. So who knows what the record would be, but it can't be much more than 413 yards on the ground. I know that.
Yeah, 3 guys over 100 yards. You had Stalwright with 100. You had Tavian Brand, who looked, oh my word,
quick.
I'm telling you, quick on 2 new built knees over the last couple of years. What's interesting about Tavian, right, is he just looks so shifty. And right there is a guy who's been able to rebound from knee surgery, unlike Moose. But what is good about him is he just adds a different dimension to the game.
He's quick. He's only 5'7", right? And you got Whittick, who's about 6 foot somewhere in there.
I think he's 5'10", 5'11",
okay.
but he's
so a little bit bigger. Obviously, a different running style. But yeah, Brandt was 7 for 115 and two touchdowns. So with a long of 47. So yeah, he had a heck of a night.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. And then you had Whittick there, right? I mean, Whittick, we expected to see a lot of Austin. He came in, carried the ball 19 times for over 125 yards. Looked good. And I think what's going to be fun, right? 2 definitely different running backs.
Yeah.
And that's fun to have, guys. It's
It
really
is.
fun to have. Looks different with him wearing number 1 up there, the old Hepner number. But
I love it.
Yeah.
Bringing it out, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. And then you got to just say it. You also handed the ball to Joe Hepner's younger brother, Ben, and he took it 51 yards, did get caught. I heard that guy is a sub-11 runner that caught him.
Well, I knew he was fast, and he had a great angle on him, too.
Great angle on that one.
Yeah.
But it was fun. See, now, I think for me, what I wanted to see a little bit more, maybe some passing, and I know Reggie's quote in the Hudson Observer was, why, right? You don't need to. And I get it, but
They'll open that up.
Yeah, I would agree, but you also can't. I thought Stalwright looked really good running the offense specifically on the ground.
He took it. He kept that ball more than he did last year, I think.
Yeah.
Combined, almost.
Yeah, when he...
I mean, not trying to be negative
'cause
about it. I'm just saying he knew we built it up, and then the second half, what was it? Was it the second
It was
quarter?
somewhat,
The second half.
It was
came
the second
out,
half because it was
all of a sudden he kept
close.
a couple, and all of a sudden just like, whoa, he was getting 10 yards or 12
Yeah.
yards. You're just like, all right, now you're keeping him honest. On
Yeah,
two
because
fast backs.
and what that's going to do is they have to honor him. And
Yeah.
and if they can't just sell out on Whittick
And
Brandt
he's a
or
big
whoever.
boy.
Yeah, he is.
Standing on the sidelines with Brinkman, he lowered his shoulder that one time going to the sideline, and I don't think I'd want to get hit by him.
I said it that night. It's a business decision if you're a small little cornerback and you got to step up and make that tackle. It just is.
Yeah, I would agree. And I do got to give you a compliment, Moose. And we heard other people compliment you too. You did a really nice job on the ground, on the field with the camera. Now, the guy you had down there talking a little bit was a little questionable, but
Sketch.
Well, actually what they said is,
It's a
he
microphone
did a
sketch.
really nice job down there, but normally those sideline reporters, they're generally like an attractive female or something like that, and we get stuck with Brinkman.
yeah, I know.
We'll grab some of the cheer section there next time.
Yeah, I mean, look at these
Give them
girls.
Look at this.
A bunch of the
They are having some
Shout
fun.
out though to the crowd. The students
No,
came
the
out. That was
students
the
came
first.
out.
Was that the second day of school, right? And students, I like
third
that.
day total because freshmen started on
but
Tuesday.
I like the fact that they were in school because it seems like the crowd is a little bit better when school
for
starts,
sure.
right? And it's not just the student section like we see there. We had a great student section, but I think as a whole, everybody's back into starting a routine, and they had to be home, so I think the crowd was better at the game.
Yeah, I thought the crowd was great.
It's Hawaiian night or something.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, beach night.
Beach
Beach
night.
night.
Yeah, they all came out, which is, having a daughter starting now, and obviously you do as well, Scrib. And, you guys have had kids come up and,
Don't worry, I don't have two juniors or anything. That's fine.
Starting freshman.
Starting
As
freshman.
a freshman,
So you remember
first
when
time
you,
in the school.
when you go up there and it's really fun, right? Like you kind of start this stuff. So
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. Hey, one thing we got to talk about Marshfield, though, you got to give him credit. The freshman quarterback, number 5, Ethan Fommel.
He's going to be good.
He's going to be good, 6'1", 160 pounds. What I was most impressed with, Gibby, obviously his throwing looked good. I mean, he just dropped dimes. But I'm going to tell you, his composure in the pocket.
For sure.
I was very impressed, and I think that's something that's exciting to see for Marshfield. Now, I mentioned it during the break or during the live stream, and you did say, hey, I think they rotate. I did confirm that we will rotate out of Marshfield and Eau Claire North for non-conference. We'll rotate out of Rapids for a conference. We'll have a new one. It might be Point next year for one of
It
them. I
all
think.
rotates, doesn't
Yep.
it? 'Cause
I think every 2 years, right? So you do the home and away,
Yep.
and then you have your new team for non-conference and your new teams for the conference. So, which I didn't know that. I just thought we did Rapids last year was our non-conference. Conference we'd probably have a different one. I didn't know they did a home and a away.
home and
So-
away. I think they just try and keep it.
Yeah,
fair.
it makes sense, right? It's what's nice about that though is a little consistency for a year or two. I mean, if depending on who you get, it could be positive, negative, right? But
Unfortunately, in the words of John Gordon when he announced for the Twins, it's an unbalanced schedule across our conference now.
yep, but it is what it is.
Right.
But before we forget, Scrib, it's not just, football isn't all about offense.
I was just gonna bring it up.
Oh, you're going to bring up some defense?
Well, I was gonna, but you
All right.
take it, buddy. That's why we're here.
Yeah, defense played really well. Obviously first game of the year, so we had a couple breakdowns there. But they did get put in a couple bad situations too, with a muffed punt and a fumble there from a bad snap. But overall tackle leaders on the night were Graham Kammerer with 7.5 sacks. Tied with him was Benjamin Wilhelm, and then Jamison Unger had 4. He had 2 solos and a tackle for a loss, and he had a big tackle on that fake punt as well. Jamison Unger did. So I still don't know what they were thinking.
No,
on
that was crazy.
Nah, that was weird. But I think defensively, with Hunter Byer out due to the knee injury, right? So it's 9 new starters. That's a lot, right? So, at the end of the day, you're returning Unger, and I think, one of the Falks are Reardon on the middle, and that's it. Everybody else is new, right? And I think we saw that in game 1, right? Last year, we only gave up 6 points. We couldn't give up an extra one, obviously. This year, like you said, Gibby, a little bit different, some breakdowns. But I think what's fun is what we talked about last year, right? Remember, we still scored up 49 points.
Right.
So we still did some good things. We had a 3-and-out to start the game. Defensively, we had some good spots. And I think what you're going to see is just Coach Reggie always makes adjustments, going to come in there, clean some things up. And it could be some playing kids in different positions, too. You know, that's the thing, too. We had some guys out that I know will be back, I've been told this week, so I think that'll help. Guys that probably will jump in. You can raise your hand, but I'll call on you. Yes, Moosey.
No, keep going, because I was going to say, when you're done, I got something to add.
All right. So I think that'll help too, right? You just get some people maybe, and that's the thing, and there's nothing against anybody that played, just maybe they're in different spots they're not used to due to some injuries, move them around. But another, like we said, right, Gibby, and we've talked about it all the time, that's just one game. Yeah. So now they got all that first game, and I did talk to Coach Reggie a little bit. He's like, hey, it's a lot. The first, you're in school already, the first game, just all the moving parts for the first day for some of those people, it's crazy. So I'm looking for I just love to see the growth. We've seen this the last couple of years from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, you think like Tanner Jess and Jack Fitzgerald, sophomore Jack Fitzgerald. I mean, some of those guys, that's their first varsity time that when it meant something other than getting in there to get
Oliver Hedges.
Yeah, Oliver Hedges, and another name that Mason Gunter had 3 tackles as well. So just some newer names.
Want to go like a little Chris Memon back. Let's backpedal a little bit.
Yeah.
Go back to offense. One thing I would say, and maybe you guys mentioned it and I wasn't listening because I was looking at my computer, was to get 413 yards, we have some great backs. But that means our line was working too. And we have some new pieces on that line, but we also bring some back. So I just shout out. I know listening to you guys announce the game, same thing. We had there was some, they're meshing, you can tell, right? And there's some certain things, but man.
For the first game of the season, you guys, how can you anything but just be super impressed by the Richmond Tigers? Yeah. Listen, we didn't have a bunch of holding calls, which normally you see. Yeah. We didn't have a bunch of false starts. We didn't have a bunch of offsides. But
Tigers, that's a Reggie team.
But I'm telling you right now is that these, what did we? 18 positions were new players. 19.
9 on defense for sure.
Yeah, so 9. So and then 8 on offense.
And in special teams.
So 17. Yeah. So we didn't have a whole bunch of stupid. Yep. We had a couple times where the ball got over the defender's head. Yep. That'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
But you know what? We didn't have the things that normally the first-time players on varsity you'll see, and I think that bodes well for the rest of the Tiger season. And obviously, Bound seems to agree with that because I see Richmond's now up to rank number 5 in Division I there. So I get it; it's after 1 week, but yeah, they're 5. Rice Lake is 4.
Division 1 or Division 2?
Division 2. Yeah, in Division 2. So I can't imagine a better game for the Tigers to start off the season.
We talk about the numbers that Richmond brings. You're right. We have a great culture right now. We're bringing 130 to 140 kids, 9 through 12. One thing that what Andy just said is we don't have the false starts. We don't have the holdings. The reason is we're not having to play sophomores or the juniors that are playing probably saw a little bit of time last year, or the seniors that are playing or got a little time last year here and there, but they're older. They're not. You're not playing young kids that the spotlights is the size of 2 cantaloupes. Yeah, so it's like they've been there before and they just step in and do their job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Moose, and I think that's part of what Reggie's created too, right? Is the expectation be ready? You called it out from the sidelines too. There, Brinkman, which. Sometimes you do say something smart, is how do you fill a weight room? Let sophomores play. Yeah. Well, that happened, right? We saw a lot of people come in at the end of the game. I mean, we're always trying to figure out all the numbers, but I think that's what's exciting, though, is seeing new people in and getting that opportunity to play. And I know JV won last night down in Marshfield 20-7, I think it was. So I was watching a little bit of that. So I think it carries over. And that's what's exciting.
And a shout out, I think the freshmen beat River Falls.
Wasn't a shout out. It was 36-20.
Shout out to the freshmen.
Sorry.
Yeah, they did.
Yep. So exciting.
Yeah, it is good.
So, all right. Well, again, it's football season, but we can't forget about the other sports. Tennis did go over to Green Bay a week ago and played. I know Lindsay Ritzer, the number 1 player for New Richmond. She went 2-2 over there, played some tough competition. So that was good to see. Overall, I think they won 2 out of the 4 matches. So I think that team is starting to feel good. JV went up to Amory, did really well too. So I think that's good. New Richmond had their big one of their first big tournaments out at the golf course. Okay. I think the Tigers were in like 8th or 9th, so they didn't finish the best. But I know Sam was the number 1 for the Tigers, and Alex Wold was 2nd. So I think maybe about 16th or 17th overall. So, again, another younger team that's just starting to jump out and get noticed. But then, Gibby, I know you're back there biting the tongue. What do you got on this year's volleyball team? I know you were up in Amory watching.
Yeah.
What do you got? Give us a little preview of what is going on right now up at the high school.
It was exciting. Going up there, let's rewind this back a couple years because Kiki was on that team, and I went up there. It was the first time I had gone to that tournament. And this would have been Ashland's sophomore year. And we were definitely towards the bottom. I mean, Ashland stuck out as a great player up there, but team-wise, we just did not do very well. Now, fast forward, Juliana taking over the program. Last year, I felt that we were much more competitive, and I felt that I thought we did a nice job. This year, we were clearly the best team.
That's good.
And
we should be, right?
Yeah, and we should be, and that's what I said. And Juliana, for instance, Ashlyn Schultz never came off the court. So it was one of those things where I think maybe she was testing the endurance of some of the kids. I know Carly Heimbach played a ton too. When you play for basically 3 straight hours, when we played Baldwin in that last match, you could tell we were running out of gas a little bit. But for the most part, when you look at the talent that the Tigers have on the court, it was really nice to see, and you can tell that the culture of the program has definitely changed. So I'm excited to watch them again tonight.
Love it.
Hey, speaking of that, though, after this, we got to get up to the high school, Gib, because I promised the Bass Lake Smashers. We got Coco Gibson, Carly Heimbach, Maddie Comro, and Sammy Morrissey. They all live within 150 feet of each other, and they told me I have to be there. So good luck tonight and this season to the Bass Lake Smashers. Gibson, Heimbach, Comro, and Morrissey.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I should have shot that picture over to you. Maybe next week I'll do that. But it's of those 4 when they're about 9 years old, 10 years old. It's a pretty cool photo. But yeah, it's fun to watch the we call ourselves the Good Hood out there. The Good Hood kids all competing on the same team. It's pretty fun, pretty special.
Yeah, it's going to be excited. I'm excited to see. Obviously, everybody knows I love volleyball, and it's fun, and I can't wait to get up there and watch. And then, we'll call a couple games for sure when it's just a straight-up Big Rivers match. But I'm excited to see, like we've talked about it, right? The growth from year 1 to year 2, the culture change, the culture shift. That is what you need when you bring in a new coach, right? And then you start to reap the benefits of that. And I think it's exciting to hear that after season 2, we're already starting to see it now. Ashlyn helps, right? She's a D1, got a D1 offer, I believe, right?
She signed, yeah.
Yep.
So she's what is she? A
Saluki.
Saluki.
Of Southern Illinois University.
Yep. But I think that's huge, right? That's a D1 school there for volleyball, and I think that helps having that. But it's also then just helps to, just start developing more kids and see, hey, if you work hard, this is what the opportunity is. So I think it's great that, you have a senior like Ashlyn on the team to help set the standard, but then you also got young kids coming up to live up to that standard, right? And I think we've seen that, and Moose talked a little bit about that in football, right? Like, hey, last year you had a ton of seniors playing, but hey, you got to replace them, and some of those kids didn't play as much. But they saw what it takes, right? They saw how you got to work hard. You got to wait, earn your time, and then when your time comes, I think Moose hit it on the head. We don't see the mental mistakes that maybe some teams do because they're playing kids that haven't played. So it's fun. It's exciting, and I think we're gonna have a great fall, and then we'll get to soccer. I don't know much about the boys soccer, but once we get a couple games in, we'll get a little bit more, and then we do got to cover a little bit of cross country. I know they'll be off and running. Obviously, graduated Mara Benedict, but Kendra Christensen will be able to take over that. She ended up really good at state last year, beating Mara. Yeah. So you're returning a very fast sophomore there, and then the boys team has a pretty good laden team as well. Well, hey, we got to get to Brink. On the Brink with Brinkman and a little agriculture talk between the Moose and the Brink. So we're going to step back, Gibby. We're just going to listen. What do you guys got for this thrilling minutes?
Moose, the only thing really I have to talk about is, boy, we could sure use an inch of rain right now to finish off those beans and start getting the corn to dry down because, we are, 5 days away from the 1st of September. Guys are going to probably want to start sniffing around on some of those beans here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And And just another inch of rain would really help fill out those pods, I think.
You get into late August, and those beans, they actually still grow because the pods start from the bottom, and they're still growing on top and filling out. So that inch of rain would be huge. Yeah. If you drive around, you can actually see the beans are starting to turn in a few fields. You get that yellow tint on maybe some dry spots, which means you say, if you see that starting, you're probably about 3 weeks away, maybe 4 weeks away, depending on what the weather's like.
And then what you guys should drive around and look at when it comes to corn is when the cob droops down. Because what happens is when the cob grows like this, when it drops down, it cuts off the amount of water that gets to the cob. And you have droopy cobs, and that's how the cobs dry out. That's the best I could do. I tried.
Okay, on the brink, he's got droopy cob over there.
Wow, this one. Well, I'm going to ask, and I'll ask a few farmers if this is true.
It's fortunate he's right, but it's just the way he said it.
Yeah, and of course, Moose, you're not on camera, but maybe I could ask on Thursday night as we head over to Eau Claire, could we take the back roads to Eau Claire?
Yeah, we'll find some droopy cob.
Because that would be, I'm excited. I think if this is what...
Perverts.
If this is what this 2 minutes of agriculture talk is going to be like,
every time,
I'm excited. Let me tell you, folks. So right there is Brink on the brink with Brinkman talking agricultural with Moose.
Strand Insurance Services is going to want to cancel sponsoring this.
Yeah, I would imagine.
After
you don't
1
see
week.
my logo on there. Don't worry.
Yeah, but speaking of that, we got to calm you three idiots down, I think, and we do got to say, hey, got to call out a few new sponsors. We got Custom HVAC Solutions, so we're going to figure out something. If you need a solution for your plumbing and heating, call Custom HVAC Solutions right there. We'll get that. And then we also got to talk, hey, we got to get into the race to the finish, the Cedar Lake race to the finish, because we can always got them going. You're thinking 1 more week away, and you're into the Big Rivers Conference. So, we're going to talk the race to the finish of the Big River Conference every year, brought to you by Cedar Lake Speedway.
Yes, and let's not forget Gibby's Lanes. And I know we got some specials that are going to be happening down there. We'll go live again for a game. I'm excited for that. We had a good time with that last year. So
yeah, that was fun. And if you're ever just bored, just go up there and eat some wings, because Gibby's got to order too.
Oh, they're so good. And Tuesdays, hey, you buy a beverage and you get a free chip. So head up on a Tuesday. It's beautiful outside. You can sit out on their patio and enjoy those wings and order a beverage and get a free one.
All right, we got some other exciting stuff coming too. We're gonna host somebody in the studio later today from a smaller conference. Just talk a little football and life and family and sports with that gentleman. We'll have that out here in a week or so, and we got some more people we're going to be getting on. We're going to try to hit somebody from a different conference every other week, maybe, or something like that. I think that'll be fun to do. Just trying to add a little bit different flavor here to this, and like we said, little agricultural talk every now and then with Brinkman. And
I think people enjoy it. I mean, obviously, we had Bjorn on here last week. 170 views on that one. So we always like to show the support for the area athletes, and that's something, like you said, Scrib, I'm excited to expand that.
All right. Well, hey, on to week 2 for football and almost all sports. So we'll cover next week, because they'll all have played at least one regular season game when we're back next week. Well, I'm Scrib.
And I'm Gib.
And I'm Scrib's alter ego, Mr. Happy.
Here we got Moose on the loose.
Droopy cob.